If you've ever found yourself struggling through a desert season in your life, and in the midst of it, you find yourself questioning God, you feel you've failed God, then this video and the book review I'm about to do for you is exactly for you. From the deserts of Afghanistan to the battlefield of the soul, Xavier Greenfield shares a raw and a redemptive journey of a young Marine trying to hold on to Jesus in the middle of the chaos of war. As I read this book, the verse that immediately came to my mind was Philippians 1:6. Paul says, I am sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Christ. This is the story of a hard desert rain, Christ bringing to completion, or at least the pieces of Christ bringing to completion what he began in the life of what was to become a young Marine. Hey, everybody, I'm Pastor Joshua. It's my goal on this channel to help you study the Bible in such a way that you know it, you live it, and you love it. I want to help you apply and live the Bible every day. And so you might be saying, well, then why a book review about a Marine? This book is going to really help you do exactly what my goal is. It's going to help you think through how we can apply things in a daily life. That's exactly what our author was really in a lot of ways struggling with. As we set out to study and live the Bible, it's important for us to take time to read and hear stories of others who are doing the same thing. Life is incredibly messy, but God is incredibly gracious. It's important that as we struggle through these things in our lives, that we understand some of the questions and the feelings and the struggles that we have in our relationship with Christ. It's important to know we're not alone. And once again, this book is going to tell you you are not alone. A hard desert rain, highly recommend it. Just because we read and study the Bible doesn't mean we're automatically going to have this growing and thriving relationship with God. We have to put work into it. We have to put the time into studying and applying and growing together. This book is going to help us see that. Failures and even doubt are always going to be a part of this. But as I said, God is incredibly gracious. I love that story of God's grace, the theme that runs through this book in all of the struggle and the chaos and the mess. A Hard Desert Rain is a memoir that really follows the story of a young Marine who ends up trading his college textbooks for a rifle and ends up in the middle of a war, all while trying to figure out his brand new relationship with Christ. He really pulls you in with his honest and gritty writing as he shares some of the chaos of war. He shares some of the doubts and the questions that he had, and even sometimes his struggle to not find the answers to those questions. I greatly appreciated his authenticity as he wrote about Marine life, moments that he really wasn't necessarily proud of. He wrote about victories, he wrote about failures. Ultimately, he wrote about redemption, and that's what makes this book so exciting. He shares both gritty realism and gospel-centered hope, all while giving absolutely no illusion that a relationship with Christ is just automatically going to fix everything in our lives. Rather, he shows us that Christ is faithful even when you and I are barely hanging on. Psalm 73:26 says, my flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. In the end, God was the strength of his heart, and he will be the strength of our lives as well. But as you read, you'll find it didn't always look incredibly victorious. Sometimes he barely had the strength that he needed to hang on. But it was real. It was who we are as Christians. It was who we are in this life as we struggle through whatever it is God puts in front of us. So I would encourage you to grab this book. I'm going to put a link down in the description. I get paid nothing for this, but I want to get you an opportunity to read what I feel is an incredible story of God's grace, God's redemption, and what was just a refreshing read in a world where often Christians are trying to hide who we are instead of really just opening up and sharing the rawness, the realness of our struggles, of our sin, of our failures, and our victories. And that's what's so beautiful about this. This is why I got so excited about this book. It's going to encourage you if you're struggling in these areas, as I said when I opened this. If you feel like you're walking through this dry desert time, this time in your life where you're maybe even wondering where God is, this book will encourage you. But maybe you're in a situation that you're excited about where God has you. Read this book. It's going to encourage you as well. The other thing that struck me as I read this book, in the world that we live in now, is such that I believe it's easy for us to forget the sacrifices of the men and women who served during that time and gave so much. And it was good for me to be reminded that there are still people who are struggling with real things. They're carrying real baggage from their time in Afghanistan and Iraq. So I would encourage you, even if nothing else, for that, to read it and get a real look at someone's life who not only signed up and was willing and ready to go and fight for their country, but also struggled with some of the questions of why and what was happening at the time. Nothing goes better with a good book than a great cup of coffee. And I want to make sure before I end this video to acknowledge my sponsor, Red Flannel Coffee. Thanks so much for your investment in this channel. Really, it's the encouragement. I get paid nothing for this sponsorship, but they do bless me with great coffee. And I want to be a blessing to you and give you an opportunity to try some great coffee as well. Go over to redflannelcoffeeco.com and you can purchase some of their great coffee. And I will say that it goes to help in great ways. The owner actually doesn't pocket any of the profit for himself, but it helps get AEDs in schools, and it also helps support things like this YouTube channel and another podcast for firefighters. So any money that you're giving is not going to anybody, but back into trying to encourage and help others. redflannelcoffeecompany.com, or rather coffeeco.com. And when you pick out your coffee and get ready to check out, make sure you use the code PJ30 and you'll get 30% off your entire purchase of coffee. Again, link in the description so you can find that. Thanks so much for listening. If you found value in this video, if I was a help or an encouragement to you, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you don't miss every time I upload. Also, a like is a great and easy way to support this channel. And make sure you share this with somebody that you think would find value in reading this book. See you in the next video.